Rashmi ma'am, shall we start? My pleasure to invite you all for this two-day webinar on enhancing employability skills for the future, organized by the Department of Humanities, NMM Institute of Technology, 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔, India, in association with Management Teachers Consortium, MTC Global Bengaluru, Global TV, the first internet TV from India, and Caru News Maharashtra. I welcome all our participants comprising of elite academicians, doctoral research scholars, and technical students from all over the world. In addition to participants from all over India, we have participants from Bangkok, Datu, Montaval, Philippines, Muscat, Azerbaijan, Baku, Wana, Pakistan, Nepal, to name a few countries. This unique webinar is getting live streamed on Global TV and Caru News, who are our media partners for today and tomorrow's webinar. I wholeheartedly welcome our respected and honorable principal, Dr. Niranjan N. Chiplunkar, our esteemed head of the Department of Humanities, Professor Rashmi Hegde, Professor Bolana Datta, the founder and president of MTC Global, Bengaluru, and Mr. N.V. Paulos, renowned NLP trainer and founder of Global TV, Mangaluru. May I now request our principal to address our participants. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. At the outset, I wish to thank Global TV and also MTC Bengaluru and Caru News Mumbai for joining hands with us in organizing this 2 days webinar on enhancing employability skills for the future. I wish to congratulate Dr. Jnaneshwar Pai and the entire team of Humanities Department of our college for coming out with this wonderful program. NMM Institute of Technology, 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔, is an engineering college having a standing of about more than 34 years in the coastal Karnataka region at a place called 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 near Mangaluru. And we have been conducting a lot of such programs, not only for the benefit of our students, but like this one, even for the benefit of all world over. And Dr. Jnaneshwar Pai has been actively engaging himself in many such programs, which I have even part of in one of the earlier programs. The theme of this particular webinar is enhancing employability skills for the future. We know we are all witnessing lots of changes in the engineering arena. So after the graduation, definitely every student will be looking for some kind of employment. But in order to get a right employment and to do well in his professional career, lots of requirements will be there, not only from the academic angle, but also from other general perspectives. I'm sure that this particular webinar will address many of those issues. And I was told that in this webinar, there are not only students, even there could be some faculty members and some who are already employed in their initial career and working for some companies. So now just 1 or 2 points before I wind up. One is, what are the employability skills that one should possess in order to join a corporate world? But we know that these days people keep changing their jobs. So this employability becomes a continuous process. Even if someone wants to change his job role, and if he has to be accepted by another company, then again his skills will be watched, and even whatever maybe the type of employment that a person gets as a first employment, however menial and trivial, but one should give his fullest and put in his best effort, because those employees will be watched throughout, and they also watch their employers will watch the enthusiasm and the skills of their employees. Definitely, this will help such employees to grow further in their professional career. So getting a first job is one, but doing it well and then going forward in their professional career is most important. So persistence is very important, and everybody must be good at expressing himself and have a clarity in oral and written reports. So I believe all these things will be dealt in detail in this particular webinar. I wish once again this webinar a grand success, and I wish and hope that all attendees will attend entire sessions of today and tomorrow and interact with the resource persons. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving a great start for today's sessions. Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. May I now request Mr. N.B. Paulus to speak a few words.
It's so happy to collaborate with Dr. Gnaneshwar Pai and the great institutions of NITE University. And Dr. Gnaneshwar Pai is a person who prepares a lot before doing something or getting into any program. I enjoyed several programs. He come and with the scholarly experience prepared presenting into many conferences. And this webinar is on a very important topic on enhancing employment skills. It is nothing but preparedness, and it is synonym with his nature. And I wish all the success for this webinar. And I wanted to tell one important point. The change happening in this millennium is the present scenario is invest and rest is the way the market go, but that is going to die now. Involve and evolve is the thing which is going to function henceforth. People coming together itself is going to create huge establishments, and organizations can create multiple organizations, 2-tier, 3-tier, 4-tier establishments without additional investments, with involving people and working on greater ideas. Let us come out with more such activities and action plans and action journalism. Wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Your words mean a lot to us. And we now start with our technical session one. That I welcome our speaker for today, Professor Bolanath Datta. Let me share a brief profile of Sir. Professor Bolanath Datta is an educationist, serial entrepreneur, and a visiting professor in India and overseas, former World Bank quality assurance expert in higher education, author, counselor, business coach, and chairman, Global Entrepreneurs Grid, and founder president, MTC Global Bengaluru, which is a think tank in higher education. He is an author of 21 books, over 100 research papers, serving as on the advisory boards of many B schools and universities in India and overseas. Professor Datta has over 25 years of experience. His profile is so very lengthy, and I had a tough time making it brief. He comes from an experience of defense, corporate and higher education and research, consultancy and startup activities. I think without wasting much of time, I now request Bolanath Datta sir to please enlighten our participants on today's topic. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to Honorable Principal, sir, and the Global TV executive, and of course, my good friend, Dr. Pai, for extending this wonderful learning opportunity on a very contemporary topic, employability skills for the future. I think this particular theme is rightly chosen at this point of time in the post-pandemic. However, there is that a surge in COVID-19, and people are expecting that there will be the fourth wave, most likely at the peak in August 2020. Keeping that aside, I welcome once again on behalf of MTC Global family, which I represent for this wonderfully crafted program on employability skills for the future. Now, let me go into the topic without investing much time. Now, employability, there is a beautiful saying about employability, right? Being employable is always stable. Being employed is at risk. That's what everyone says. Whenever we get a job, that's fantastic. We get a platform in the corporate world, but in the today's VUCA world, every time the environment is changing so fast, the new technologies, the new principles, and new concepts are emerging in the market. So it's always a requisite that we continuously upgrade ourselves. That's why the concept of lifelong learning has come into a very prominent phase today in the post-pandemic. Now, if we look at the various reports in CII, ASSOCHAM, so on and so forth, everywhere we see that we have academically brilliant graduate, but there is no gap. There is a skill gaps, not proper skill mapping is done. What corporate is looking and what the graduate they possess, it seems there is a difference. So people call it skill gap. And let me put it in a different way. I call it skill need. Okay, there is nothing like gap. There is a skill need. As an individual, we need to upgrade ourselves continuously to map or to match the requirement in the dynamic corporate world. I think that is very, very important. Now, if you look at the World Economic Forum reports, they have published many reports. In one of the report, it says that is one quality, one essential quality, if people they possess, I think they'll be always employable. And that quality is the learnability, the ability to learn first and put it into action. I think that's the key. I think that is very, very important because in the today's ever-changing world, and no new technologies, new tools and techniques are coming every now and then. So we need to learn the tools very fast. At the same time, we need to put it into action. There was a debate for a decade or more than decade, like whether we need specialization or generalization, which plays a dominant role in the corporate. Like we know in the marketing, no, there is no evolution from USP to MSP, unique selling proposition to multiple selling proposition. I think today there is a strong need that we need not be very good. Like the theory of the core competency, it says that a person may have multiple abilities, but in one particular area, that person must be very strong. And that person needs to build up in the particular area, to deliver or for the world to know that so-and-so is so good at certain skill. But having said that, but today there is a need for multi-skilling, as we have seen that NAP 2020, it promotes the idea of interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach because there is a need. We need to be very good. We need to be competent, not in one particular niche area, one particular functional domain, but we need to be good at in multiple domains at the same time. I think that is very, very important. And we have seen as a teacher that even the marketing, finance, and HR specialization, it matters maybe in their first job, but it does not matter over a period of time. And most likely you have seen that in engineering department, whether you're from any disciplines, everyone get on board in Infosys and Microsoft, SunGard, and other companies which generally come into campus for the engineering colleges, irrespective of their specialization. So I think specialization does make a sense, but over a period of time, specialization takes a back seat. If somebody wants to change the career from one field to another field, I think that person needs to be good at in the multiple areas. I think that's very, very important. Now today, if just look at during the pandemic, what has happened, I think it has taught a lot of good lessons to all of us. It has taught us we need to survive on the minimal resources, what corporate always look for, whatever you have, wherever you are, whatever resources you have, you need to ensure that you deliver the best. I think that's the ultimate motto of any management principle, to such in the sense like we need to optimization of the resources. That's very, very important. Now, we know some of the breaking news for last 2.5 years in the corporate world. And the first one, okay, it's very widely circulated, is that the CEO of the beta.com, okay, Mr. Vikram Garg, okay, he has fired over 350 employees in the Zoom meeting. So it was hue and cry across the corporate world. Then the CFO takes over the role of CEO to manage, okay, the situation. See the kind of thinking, kind of thought is going into the mind of the people. Now, a few days back, we have seen that Unacademy, they have announced to lay off more than 1,000 employees to ensure that they are financially strong. So a lot of layoff, lot of retrenchment. Those things are happening in the corporate world. So we know that what the purpose of saying is that we know there are 4 P's in the marketing, right? Product, place, price, and promotion. There are 3 more P's in the service marketing: people, process, and physical evidence. There is 1 more P, which is playing a dominant role during this pandemic area. And there's a lot of discussion on that particular 8th P, and it talks about the productivity. Everyone is worried about the productivity, the cost cutting, the business process engineering, the lean manufacturing, the lean philosophy with the least resources. Okay, can the company survive? Can the company optimize the output? I think therein the MBA graduates or the engineering graduates has a role to play. They need to be productive. There is no benching nowadays in the corporate. They need to have the requisite skill sets to deliver from the day one. I think that is very, very important, because we know that Google, Ernst & Young, all these companies, they have removed the educational qualification from their selection process. They say that if someone has no competency in their functional domain, he or she can be on board in the company. And we know during the President Donald Trump in the US, during his presidency, he has removed the educational qualification for the government jobs. And there was a hue and cry across the world what he is doing. He has removed the educational qualification, but he says if someone is good at in particular area, why she or he cannot be recruited to perform? I think, see, there is a lot of change the way the corporate look at, okay, because all this because of a lot of pressure on the financial condition of the corporate, and they are more focusing on the productivity. I think as an MBA graduate or any graduate, we need to ensure that we possess the requisite skills to fulfill the needs, these particular needs of the corporate. We need to be creative. We need to be innovative. I think these are the terms. These are the terms the whole world is talking about. Every problem has multiple solutions, but we need to find out the innovative ways, which is very cost effective to address this particular problem. That's why there is a renewed focus on liberal arts, because people say that liberal arts people are very creative and they're very innovative. And we have seen that NAP 2020, it promotes interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach. It says that an engineering college can start the liberal arts program so that there is a free flow of thoughts across all the disciplines. And we can ensure that there is holistic development of the students. I think that thing is very, very important. That thing is very, very important. So a lot of focus on productivity. Like if I talk about the productivity is generally output by input, right? Can we ensure that no more output, keeping the input constant? That may be the one case. The second case may be, can you reduce the input and ensure that output is enhanced? In both the cases, we need new thoughts. We need new thinkings. We need new technology, okay, to ensure that productivity goes up. And this is actually what is called in management parlance is business process reengineering. I think that is very, very important. That is very, very important. We know the red ocean and the blue ocean strategy developed by INSEAD professor, but people are talking about a new strategy called moon strategy or disruptive innovation, wherein we can bring in something which people can never thought of. We have seen that for last 1 week, there's a lot of discussion in the social media and in the newspaper.
Recording in progress.
Elon Musk has taken over the Twitter, right? Elon Musk adds $42 billion. Okay, so that's the biggest acquisition in the recent times. So Elon Musk, why he is known why he is known for. He is known for very, very creative and innovative things like SpaceX. Okay, what Richard Branson, okay, of Virgin Airlines, okay, started with taking the people to the space tourism. I think Elon Musk is the leader in that particular space. Okay, tube transportation. See the kind of, okay, the thought process he has developed, complete out of the way. Now acquisition of Twitter, obviously the Tesla, okay, the leading automobile brand, okay, which he has created, and Bangalore already, last year started one subsidiary in the Bangalore. So I think Elon Musk is known for that, right? So we need to have that kind of kind of innovation. What is very much required today for the graduates for a better job. And we have seen that other day in the Economic Times, there was a report that a lot of openings in the green jobs, okay, in the green sectors. Now people are talking about even Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Now we have seen that there is a lot of growth. And this is called the sunrise sector in the renewable energy, sustainable energy sector. I think there is a huge opportunity out there for the graduates to get a job, to start their own enterprise, or can create a history of rags to riches. I think, do you have that kind of curriculum? Can we give that kind of value-added programs in our campus so that students can get that kind of career breaks or career opportunities in those sunrise sectors? I think that's very, very important. Now, if we look at the startup sector, okay, startup sector, okay, is very, very promising. In 2021, you'll be surprised to know the 41 unicorns from the India in 2021, okay, at the time when the whole world is struggling economically. 21, okay, unicorn. One unicorn is equal to 100 billion. In Indian currency, it will be 75,000 crore rupees, okay, net worth of a company. When it reaches, it's called unicorn. Though Make in India, Stand Up India, Digital India, I think these are now the Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have seen how 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 has become, becoming popular every day, okay, right, in line with the Twitter, okay. This is a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have looked at the defense sector. Defense sector was predominantly, as a reserved sector, and only government, manufacturing companies used to produce, like HAL, okay, BML, and so on, and DRDO. But this sector has been opened up. And you have seen a lot of Reliance and Adani and a lot of other groups, they're coming into and venturing into the defense sector. And this is helping India to become self-resilient. Now look at the impact. I'm giving the global perspective, then I'll come into some of the skills what we need to possess. If you look at the Russian invasion into Ukraine and the global impact, the rise in diesel and petrol prices is the highest in India. Okay. And there's a lot of talks around the world and the impact of Russia-Ukraine war on the economy. We have seen the economic recession in 2009. Whole world was impacted, but India was, by and large, very, very safe, because Indian economy is largely agriculture-based. Okay, so we are self-resilient in terms of the production. Okay, in terms of the consumption, in terms of the larger consumer base. Okay, I think India is taking a leadership role, okay, at present time in the global geopolitical context. I think that's something very, very good, and we all should be proud of that. India is signing. Everyone is taking the name of India, because of its, not only because of its cultural heritage. Look at all the companies, whether it is FedEx, whether it is Google, whether it is Microsoft, whether it is Twitter, everywhere, every company is heading by Indians. What great moment we are into, and we all should take pride of it. Okay, that means, yes, as an Indian, each individual is capable of heading, leading, and performing, and bring new solution to the existing problems in the world. I think that's how we need to look at. That's how we need to look at the future. Okay, what contribution we can make to the society, what impacts we can bring in. I think that is very, very important. It's not just a matter of getting a job. There are plenty of jobs out there. Other day I was talking one of my friends, he was telling that everyone is complaining, no job, no job, no job, economic is under recession, okay, due to the pandemic. But that fellow was telling, my good friend, why there are no jobs? How many educated people want to enter into a startup? How many education people, no educated people want to start the doing job of painting, okay, or welding, or driving, a Uber or Ola cab. Or there are so many other jobs wherein if someone does professionally and wants to build it up, there are huge opportunities. But there are some kind of mindset we Indians we have. If we become a graduate, if we become a postgraduate, we need certain kind of jobs only. We need not, okay, we should not go below that. Okay, that's the kind of problem. Now the fever of getting a government job, by and large, that's over. Okay, now everyone is looking out of government job as well. But at the same time, there is an ample opportunities out there in the market wherein a lot of jobs, okay, wherein they need the skilled people. I'm not saying if someone does the welding job throughout the life, he will do the welding job. Not that. You can scale it up. You can scale it up. You can go join the job, learn it, start your own business. There are plenty of money out there. Why not? I think there's a need. That's what I see. There is a need of looking differently. If you look at the pandemic, the EdTech sector, before this pandemic, there were hardly around 100 to 150 LMS companies. Now, after this pandemic, there are more than 1,000 LMS companies. And see the growth of the EdTech companies. There is huge growth of EdTech companies because there's a need being online classes. Now, future is into blended mode. Future is into blended mode. India, well in advance, started Digital India. And no one can thought that a beggar can ask money through Paytm or Google Pay, okay, carrying the QR code. Many people raised question how this UPI transaction will be feasible in the village. But we see every small outlet, the people selling tender coconut, they have the QR code. What fantastic today's India is. Citibank, a lot of other UPIs, okay? They are not operating in Russia after Russian invasion into Ukraine. But see, the RuPay card, okay? The UPI in India is so successful. RuPay started in Bhutan, in Nepal. The days are not far when RuPay will start in Russia and some of the other Western the world. So there are a lot of success stories. There are a lot of success stories for us to feel or take the pride, for us to motivate, okay, ourselves and give our best. I think there are jobs. If you look at the pandemic time, there are certain sectors. There are certain sectors which are badly hit. Number one, let me talk and how this sector has revived. That's the innovation I'm talking about. Why not? The youth, today's youth, all of you, those who are there present today, why can't you do? If he can do, she can do, why not you and me? And definitely, no one is blessed, right? In that that he or she will do something out of the way and we cannot do it. We all are gift of God. We all have the power within ourselves. Only thing, a lot of us, we don't know what we can do, what we can achieve. I think that clarity, okay, that we don't know our own potential. I think that's the biggest challenge. And we need to overcome this particular challenge. Number one sector is the tourism and the travel and the hospitality sector, which was bad hit. But see, the Make My Trip, and there are other travel companies, big travel companies, what they have launched about virtual tourism. Yesterday, I was saying in the advertisement, Kapil Dev was endorsing for the Airtel, for the holograms. You can see the cricket match live, the same feeling using the hologram technology, okay, sitting at home. What is the fantastic? What you and I and others can do or think in that direction, definitely. So there is a huge growth in the virtual tourism sector. There was a huge pressure on the transportation sector, okay? Now we know the success story of the Dunzo, okay? How Dunzo has become, okay, so successful. We need something, there is no need to go and buy, place the order to Dunzo, Dunzo will come and deliver. What fantastic innovations people they have brought in. Take the example of the sustainable sector if we talk about ULU, okay? For the urban transportation. cycle, okay, the battery powered, okay, small motorcycles. I think these are some of the areas wherein we need to think. Now, if you want to think in these areas, what is very important is, we need to be creative. We need to come out of our conventional mindset that we don't have money, we don't have connectivity, we don't have connection to the power people, so we can't do it. It's not that. It's not that. Google, Facebook, and all big companies, they all started from zero. No company started in a big way. Whether you talk about the example of the Indian big corporate houses, whether it's Tata, Reliance, or any companies, they all started with, with zero, and today they have grown up. I think that's what we need to look for. So there are huge opportunities out there. Some of the sectors which have done fantastically well. The health care sector, the medical sector, the growth of telemedicines. I think that is is for the benefit of everyone. This is due to the pandemic. Now people across India, they're getting the good services of good hospitals from Bangalore and Delhi, through the telemedicines. So FMCG sectors, the cloud kitchens, we have seen there is a huge growth. And this particular pandemic has given these are some of the areas, and it has taught us a lot of reports what digitalization could happen for next 10 to 15 years. That has happened for last 1 year due to this particular pandemic. So today, one essential skill set or qualification we all need to have is the knowledge of digitalization, the digital marketing, the digital skill sets, irrespective of the specialization, irrespective of if you want a job or you want to become an entrepreneur, you must understand the power of the social media, the SMAC, social media analytics, and the cloud. We should have the competency in these areas, and definitely that will help you to get a good job. Now, areas like the big data management, and the analytics, the business intelligence, these are some of the areas, what corporates are looking for, recruitment. Now, as far as IT is concerned, there's a huge demand, in the metaverse, having expertise in the metaverse or having expertise in the coding. Coding has come out in a big way. I think for management graduates, they have to have certain skill sets, which due to this pandemic, but this pandemic, these skill sets have regained, new focus. The number one skill set, let me just focus on the requisite skill sets. The number one is, the problem solving skills. I think this was there before, this is there now, and this will be there for the ever. We need to find out, the new way of addressing or bringing out solution to the existing problems. I think that is very, very important. Corporate, I said every now and then, because of changing of people needs and preferences, because of changes of the tools and technologies, there is always a change. There's always a change. And as a graduate, we need to find out new solutions to the existing problem. So this problem solving skills is one of the dominant skill sets what we all need to possess, critical problem solving skills. The second one is the emotional skills. I think this area is very, very important because of this pandemic, right? Because of this pandemic, everyone is stressed out, being locked inside the home for last 2 years almost. People are under stress. There are a lot of new health issues, have raised, which was not there before. So this managing the emotions is very, very important. That's why people talk about ESL, emotional social learning. People are talking about emotional leadership, some of the concepts. I'm sure you know that when people work from the home or work from anywhere, work from home, WFH or WFA, Now, corporate, they think that as they are working from the home, we can approach anytime to the employees, and night, 12 o'clock, okay, they send a mail and they expect that no employees to respond to that mail. I think a lot of companies have come out with clear, okay, HR policies that after the working hour, there should not be any, okay, mail exchange, or no one from the company should call the employees who are working from the home. There's a lot of debates, a lot of queries whether working from home is productive or not. But there are many research in this particular area, and it is seen, not only seen, it is proven that working from home is more productive than working from the office. Very surprising, but it's the fact. Corporate used to spend crores of rupees on the meetings, corporate meetings. People used to travel from overseas, from one country to another country, stay in the 5-star facilities, a lot of money, DA, HR, a lot of things used to spend. But now it is proven that this meeting can be held on Zoom or any other platform. Before also it was there, Cisco by telepresence or WebEx media tone technology for the web conferencing, but those are not very popular. But due to this pandemic, okay, it is proven that a lot of things can be done on the internet, which is very cost effective. Okay, it saves time, energy, money. Okay, and then what else we know? I think that's the beauty. That's why as a graduate, we must be good at using the tools and technology, digital tools and technology, and make use of it. That's very, very important. Now, Japan, they just done the experiment whether 4 days working is productive or not, because there was a talk by the Ministry of Commerce in India. They also wanted to experiment whether 4 days working is good or not, because employees are stressed out. Employees are stressed out. They're not finding enough time to spend with their family. If they don't feel good, if they're not at peace in mind, how they will perform when they come back to the office? And they have seen in the Japan that 4 days week is more productive. So a lot of unconventional experimentations are happening, and it is proven that conventional thoughts and policies and practices, okay, may not have the universal applications. Now, Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, he has said, if anyone wants to work from home, he or she can do for the lifetime. Work from home, need not come to the office, because work from home means companies save a lot of things. Electricity, energy, and a lot of other expenses when an employee comes to the office. So company can easily save that. So are we adaptable as a graduate? Are we adaptable in working from home or work from anywhere? Are we tech savvy? I think these skill sets also we need at present to become employable. I think that is very, very important. That is very, very important. So these work from home, work from anywhere, these are and the future is in hybrid mode, in the blended mode. And those who want to become entrepreneur, I think that's this is the perfect time. Okay, they can become the digital entrepreneur, what we call e-entrepreneur. Everything has come into online. But many companies, small companies, they feel that online means just to have a website. It's not. It's a kind of user experience you give to your prospective customers or the existing customers. I think that's very important. What user experience you can create, okay, for your prospective customers. So this digital skills, the creativity and the innovation. The famous book by the Caru, you can win on the cover page, the famous quote. Every one of us know. Simple quote, but it has a lot of meanings. Winners don't do different things. They do things differently. Similar way, the managers don't do different things. They do things differently. That means differently in the sense you have to find out the cost-effective way to perform a particular task. Okay, so that there is a lean philosophy. Okay, minimum use of resources and the maximum or the optimum. Okay, in the management term, optimum outcome. That's very important. I think that's one area which we need all to have become creative, become innovative. That's very, very important. Learnability, the ability to learn first, the positive mindset, the attitude. Okay, the attitude is very, very important. The positive mindset, positive affirmation. I think that's very important. Yes, I can. Yes, we can as a team. This positive affirmation is very, very important. And many of us, we have the skills. Okay, we have the ability to pick up new tools and techniques. But most of the times, we're in doubt, we're in doldrums. Okay, whether we can do it or not. So it talks about the self-confidence. Are you self-confident? Do you have the faith or trust on your abilities? If you have, then you can do, you can achieve. I think that's very, very important. That's very, very important. Your decision-making skill. The another soft skill, what we all require for the employability purpose, right? Decision-making skill. See, even not to decide, you have to take a call whether you have not to decide or not. So decision-making skills is another important skill set. Okay, every now and then we need to take decision, whether it is in our personal life or whether it is in our professional career. So how effectively we take a decision, that's very, very important. And in strategic management, you will study, or you have studied the term, the strategic intent. Whenever we take a decision, I'm sure there is a business simulation lab, we got business game, wherein you can simulate, if you take a decision, what would be the impact of the particular decision on the company. Okay, so a lot of business simulation games are there, so that you can also simulate, you can experiment. So this decision-making skills is equally very, very important. And the ability to learn fast. So these are some of the skill sets. Okay, soft skills, right? Life skills, behavioral skills. Now, if we talk about the hard skills, okay, that's another skill we all need, because we need to perform. Okay, we need to deliver. For the engineering graduates and the management graduates, these are different sets of graduates. Engineers must be good in the functional domain, like programming, and hardware engineers into that semiconductors and other areas or applications. But if we talk about the management graduates, I think hard skills, if we talk about today's management graduates, like if I talk about the HR, okay, so HR, today there is a very good demand of HR analytics, okay, HR analytics, because most of the times, whenever we study, we have seen that, okay, that HR functions are not quantifiable by and large, okay, that's the big challenge. But other marketing, if you sell a product, so one's performance can be quantified, but HR's performance and financial, the professional performance cannot be directly quantifiable. So in that case, the financial analytics, the modeling, the HR analytics, HR model, create a dashboard. If a person is absent for one day in the company, what is the impact on the company's performance? Can we quantify this? And there is a huge growth, huge opportunities in this particular area of the HR analytics. Whether we have this in the curriculum, if we don't have, probably we can give through a value-added course, the HR certification. The marketing analytics, by and large, is a business intelligence or the business analytics or SAP applications. Okay, let us not go about SaaS, but SAP applications definitely. Okay, I think some basic modules which MBA graduates, they must know. And another skill set which is very important, time and again I'm saying it, okay, this is the digital skill sets, the digital tools and technology, digital marketing, by and large, if you call it, put it in that particular broad area. Tech savvy, the hard skill, right? Hard and soft skills combination. The graduates, the management graduate must be tech savvy. Tech savvy means they should be able to pick up the technology very fast. Okay, so that's a mindset. That's an ability to learn the new technology. So this is also equally very, very important. Now, if you look at the curriculum, of any MBA program, we'll see that it starts from basic foundations, then it goes to anthropology, it goes to social science, then the products and HR marketing, some fundamentals, then go for specialization. It gives a holistic 360-degree overview for anybody. Now it helps an individual to do well in the corporate and even do well in the personal life. I say that again, one MBA, any MBA or any graduate, today's graduate, engineering or management, they must be MSc. Now, MSc means it's not a degree. MSc means M stands for mindfulness. Okay. Whether you do something out of your love, out of your passion, do you have smile on your face? Okay. The cheerfulness, the joyfulness, okay, in doing some job, that's very, very important. A stands for MSc, A stands for social skills. You have seen during last 2.5 years, a person from Mumbai helping someone getting oxygen cylinder who is suffering in COVID, okay, in Bangalore, in Delhi. What is this? Social skills, the networking skills. Your network is much, much stronger than your other skill sets. Today, people are successful, those who have great network, good network, and you can't build network just like that, okay? There has to be a strategy in place, okay, to develop a network, whom to approach, how to approach, okay? There is always win-win, okay? Everyone should find some or other kind of benefits. Benefit in the sense, I'm not talking financial terms, in terms of knowledge, in terms of inputs, certain skill sets, all those stuff. So the social skills, today social skills are very, very important to survive, okay? Last skill is MSc, C, compassionate. Are we compassionate enough? Are we compassionate enough? As an individual, are you compassionate? Now it goes to sympathy, empathy, and compassionate. Compassionate means not only just being sympathetic or empathetic, but you go out to actually help those who need the help. So that's the level of being compassionate. So everyone should be MSc, mindfulness, social skills, and the compassionate. I think that is very, very important. These skill sets are very, very important today. I'm sure what Principal Sir has rightly said, employability is something which changes over a period of time. You look back in 2000, in the early 2000, employability means in India, having good communication. Okay, good communication because of the growth of BPO and the IT-enabled services. If someone has good communication skills, that means that person can get a job, even that person is PUC or the 10th level, no problem. So that time it was the employability, okay, quotient, if I say employability skill. But over a period of time, as the corporate changed, as the environment changed, the technology changed, so today's employability skill sets have undergone a change. What are the skill sets today will not be the skill sets of tomorrow. So this ever-changing dynamic environment, what we all need to have? We all need to have one quality, which World Economic Forum also suggested, is your learnability. The ability to learn fast. That's about your mindset. That's about your attitude. That's about your winning attitude. I think that is very, very important. We are talking about the leadership, emotional leadership, taking everyone on board. That's very, very important. It's not about a position. It's not about any designation. Every one of us today present here is a leader in our own terms. In our own terms. But the leadership is always tested by the result. So you must prove to the world, okay? We must prove to the world what outcome, what results you can bring in terms of, okay, getting a good job, in terms of solving a particular problem, okay, in terms of giving new solutions to the existing problem. I think that is very, very important. So I think we have come to the, my time is 12 o'clock. It's around 11:50. 10 minutes, most likely, maybe for taking one or two questions. So I'll just sum up what I said. Let us be on time because we have another very senior speaker lined up. Okay. Once again, what my the talk for last 1 hour, it's all about every one of us is blessed. Every one of us is the gift of God. We are fortunate that we have got the human life. We are fortunate enough that we are studying our MBA, engineering, or whatever programs we have. There are many people, those who are not that fortunate, right? So you all are blessed, number one. Number two, this pandemic has taught us many lessons, okay? Lesson is, to survive a good, healthy life, we don't need many things. So let us not be having any kind of greed. Basic needs are important. Luxurious things come later on. Okay, networking is your network, right? You have to be compassionate. You have to have the ability to learn first, to survive in the VUCA world, survival for the fittest. India is doing excellent. India is emerging as a global leader today. A lot of government initiatives, okay, which are helping India to come forward, whether it's Startup India, Digital India, or Atmanirbhar Bharat, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, okay, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, lot of initiatives, okay. So we are in the right time. 41 unicorns in 2021. That's something surprising in India. India is becoming the hub of startup ecosystem in the world. What else we need? What else we need? There is a growth of industry sector. Okay, other sectors also there is growing. Okay, power sector, automobile sector, big companies are coming and investing in India. I think that's the fantastic time we all have. We have certain soft skill sets, which I have said time and again, the decision-making skill, okay, or design thinking, systematic way of thinking, okay, particular problem and finding out the solutions, the creativity, the innovations, the problem-solving skills, the fundamental clarity, conceptual clarity, analytical skills, being tech-savvy, some of the technical knowledge in terms of business analytics or intelligence, the SAP basic modules, SAP basic modules, okay. So I'm not talking about learning about programming language, coding, not get into in that depth. If somebody can learn by himself or herself, okay, personally, so I think, okay, that's something very, very fantastic. That tech savvy, you have to be tech savvy, okay, you have to be creative, innovative at the same time, okay, at the last. Now, okay, all of you have the wonderful opportunity to become an entrepreneur, become your own boss. There is a fantastic opportunity out there in India, and there is an ecosystem to help you in terms of investing, in terms of mentoring. I think everything is in your favor. Now, what you want to do? I'm sure everybody wants to become successful, but success has a different meaning for everyone. But in your own way, whatever you want to do, you can become successful. Okay, and I believe, and I'm sure each one of you today present out here, you will do excellent in your life, in your career. Now, thank you so much, Dr. Ganeshwar Pai sir, for the wonderful opportunity extended to me. Now, if there's a provision for taking few questions, I hand over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. We have few questions in the chat. I have already made note, which I will read it out along with the name of the person who raised the query. Before that, thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful power-packed session. Just to quickly summarize what you said, I think you seem to be very, very optimistic about the job opportunities that is going to be available. But what I understand is you are very clear that skill is something which is very important. I think what skills which corporates are looking for is the big data management, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and coding. That is what you stressed in your session. I think you also spoke about you focused on productivity and outcome. I think you are of opinion that working from home is more effective than working from office. That is what you just highlighted. You also said about the various skill sets which our graduates and the technical graduates need to be possessing. The first being the problem solving skills, then the decision making skills, the digital skills where our students very lack, particularly though they seem to have good technical skills, and learnability skills and the networking skills. One more thing which is nice, which I have made a note is the MSc, which is I think our students, technical students particularly need to be mindful, have social skills and compassionate, right? And being compassionate, which is missing in our graduates. So thank you so much, sir. So let me make note of let me just highlight those questions, sir. There was a question, there are 6 questions which our participants have raised. First one is from Ranjit Raman. He says, what methods we need to adopt in order to measure the skill needed for Indian youths? Do we need to know aspiration of our youth first?
Okay, I think that's a fantastic question. Now, what skill needs we need and how to measure it?
Exactly.
Okay, so there are a few things I think as a graduate or job aspirant, we all need to do. The number one is, okay, MBA means no minimum business awareness, or we talk about MBWA, management by walking around, whether it is engineering graduate. And that means you all need to listen to the business news, we need to read the Economic Times, Business Standard, other business magazine, and have a pulse of how industry is working, what are the sectors are growing, okay, which are the sunrise sectors, what are the skill sets they require, number one. Now, if you look at, okay, the job, okay, applications, there are many, job search engine, okay, Naukri.com, Monster, JobSite, so on and so forth. Even, employment news, even the daily newspaper, in Wednesday, they have their job advertisement. So if you look at the different job advertisement, we'll find out they mention clearly the job requirements, the job skill sets required for a particular job. Now, if we do a research, okay, simply even in Google, if we do a research and survey, we'll find out what skill sets company they are looking for. Is it not? It's very simple. Now, we have to do a SWOT analysis, self-SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, and find out that what are the skills we already have and what are the areas. Okay, weakness means the areas for improvement. What are the areas we need to improvise? Okay, very simple. If you do a self-SWOT analysis vis-a-vis the corporate requirement, vis-a-vis how the industry is going, vis-a-vis how the advertisement for that job. Okay, so through that, I think we can have an in-depth view what skill sets we need to develop, and if we can find out, then it becomes very easy, okay, to develop those skill sets. We can take training, okay, we can go to a professor in some of the areas we are not good at. We have the labs, okay, in most of the colleges that take labs are there, beautiful labs. Okay, we can learn by ourselves. And the colleges also, all the colleges, they have that employability, skill training, the placement training and all, some of the areas where companies are looking for. If those things are not part of the curriculum, then they give as value-added certification programs. So those certification programs we need to enroll and we need to upgrade ourselves. That is very, very important. So skill needs is very easy to find out, but how to be the futuristic? That's what I said, the future needs. Now at present, maybe 1 to 2 years down the line, we can find out. You can imagine these are the skill sets. But future, maybe by 2050, what are the skill sets we need? Okay, we cannot foresee, okay, at 2022, how the world would be in 2050. So what is very important in that case, that's what I say time and again. Learn quickly any new tools and techniques and put it into action. Are we capable of doing it? Are we able to do it, that or not perform? So I think that is another area we need to focus. That to do that, we need to have a right kind of mindset and we should have the self-confidence. Yes, I can. Okay. Thank you so much. And that was a fantastic question. Yes.
The second question is from Dr. Reshma Desa. She says, what are the best methods for increasing student-centered learning for skill development among students? What are the best methods for increasing student-centered learning?
Okay, wonderful question. I always say that placement is a student job. Okay, placement is not anything teachers need to do. Okay, because students at the end of the day, they need to get a job. So they need to ensure that they are properly trained, they have the requisite skill sets, okay? And to have that, what I said in the answer of the first question, they need to search, they need to do online survey, find out what are the skills requirements are there in the industry, and they have to do a mapping whether they have it or not to the self-SWOT analysis and try to build up those areas. Now, the student-centric activity, how we can do it, in a structured way in the college, okay, to ensure that employability index. Now, employability index, the first time I think it was created in IIM Ahmedabad, okay, then later on many colleges, they have the employability index. Now, employability index, it changes, when the students come into first semester, okay, what are the requisite skill sets they have? Can we identify those skill sets? And can we ensure that those skill sets student they possess? Can we have a mechanism in place to check whether they possess at the end of first semester or not? When they go for second semester, we can have a different kind of skill set. Third semester, different skill set. Fourth semester and the final semester, okay, wherein they will go for the placement. Okay, so they need most updated skill sets, what corporate is looking for. Can we identify those kind of skill sets? Can we ensure and do a mapping that whether these skill sets are imparted through the curriculum, okay, to the syllabus or curriculum, whatever we have in the place. If not, then what kind of value-added certification programs we can include, okay, or beyond the curriculum program, we can include in our curriculum, okay, to ensure that students become employable. Okay, so that's a very detailed study. I think as a college, the teachers, we need to do it and develop an index and evaluate how they're progressing. That's very, very important. And those who are not doing well, we can have a separate mentoring mechanism wherein we can mentor them. Now, there's a concept of, we have academic mentoring. Now, corporate mentoring, I think there's another student-centric approach. Can we have a corporate body connected with the college, okay, domain-specific engineering and MBA separate, okay, from the industry, senior professionals who will come maybe once in a month and sit with the students along with the teachers as well. And they will explain that how corporate is functioning, what are the skill sets in demand, and how the academic institutions can rise up to meet those kind of demands. That's another approach. And anyhow, we have the different club or forum activities, marketing club, finance club, HR club, we have ED cell, those who want to become entrepreneur, we have innovation club, a lot of cultural activities to take care of the soft skill, leadership, team building, all those stuff. We have debate club, group discussions, all those activities are all these activities are carried out in all business schools. But the only thing I say time and again, see, placement is a student responsibility. As a teacher, we always do our best. We always do our best, try to impart. We always want to see that our students, they come out successful, they become successful in the life. Okay, because that is our achievement. As a teacher, our individual achievement is a different thing. But what is the ultimate achievement of a teacher? Teacher is the ultimate achievement. If students are successful, okay, then the teacher's happiness, okay, knew no bound. I think that's why student, we must nurture them from the day one, make them understand that we will give all the facilities. We have all the things in place, but you have to get the placement. This is your career. You need to be very serious. Okay. If you don't teach something, if you don't understand something, there's a provision of tutorial class. There's a provision of remedial class. There's a provision for slow learners. A lot of mechanisms are already very structured in the business schools, and we can take care. Are you ready? The question is, are you ready? Now, here comes the questions. That's what I said. Students have to come forward. They have to have the self-confidence. Your parents have invested so much amount. Okay, you have spent so much time and money and efforts to come to the business schools or the engineering college. Okay, for a better career, for a good future. You need to do well, perform well, bring happiness to your life, meet your parents' dream, do well in the life, get settled down. Okay, make the life purposeful. That's very important. So most of the student-centric approach is a placement training. Now corporate tie-up, okay, meet with an entrepreneur, guest lecture, expert lecture, academic mentoring, corporate mentoring, all those things are student-centric approach, and business awareness session, okay, subscription to the business magazine, news magazine, okay. I think all those things, most of the things are there in place in all the business schools, but we need to nurture and motivate the student, make them understand that, my dear, it's your future, it's your career. You need to take interest. Okay, if students take interest, I'm sure, okay, everyone, every student has the possibility, okay, within himself or herself, okay, to perform, to emerge as a successful individual. That's another wonderful question, ma'am. Thank you so much for your question.
There is one more question from my colleague here, Mrs. Sudiksha Pai. She asks, how do we train students to break a social stigma and motivate them to develop decision-making skills?
That's another question.
How to get out of the social stigma?
That's another question. Okay, the social stigma. I think India has moved far ahead. World has moved far ahead. There was once a time, okay, when an individual work is equivalent to what qualification he or she possesses. No girl's parent would be ready to get married their daughter to a business person, because parents will think, we don't know whether business will do well or not. Okay, so girls' parents are always very much worried about their girl's future. Those things are not there. Those things are not there. There are many success stories. We know that MBA Chaiwala, Praful MBA Chaiwala, okay, didn't get admission into the MBA. Now MBA Chaiwala has become a success story. Many such success stories. Well, I'm not saying that no, we need not study, need not pursue higher education. It's not like that. What I'm saying that everyone has the equal opportunity to perform and do well. Everyone. But many of us, because of our socioeconomic background, cultural background, we have certain mindset, and that is very difficult to break. So as a teachers, as a management, we should have or create a very positive learning environment. When I say learning environment, it does not mean that only the classroom, outside classroom. Why the education in the US and other countries are so popular? Because it's not what is taught inside the classroom, but because of the learning environment outside the classroom. 85% of the lessons they learn outside of the classroom, 15%, 20% inside the classroom. What kind of learning environment we have inside the campus? What is the landscape? What is the library? What are the different other provisions? Many, Oxford, Cambridge, they have the museum also inside. I'm not talking about having museum or horse riding, but there are positive vibes in the campus. I think the positive vibes in the campus, I think that's very, very important. Whether do you have that kind of positive vibes in the campus or not? So this social stigma, which is more or less connected with the life, our society and the individual's life, I think as a teacher, as a mentor, okay, we need to make them understand that there are many rags to riches success story, okay, and there are many people, okay, those have come from the from the very lower level and they have become successful. It's all about the individual. You make or break your life. Today, there is nothing as such that only a person who has come from a top family or very popular family, he or she can become successful. I think those are the days are gone. Those are the days are gone. I have seen, I just would like to give an example of one person. I think these things will make very clear. One of my friend, okay, in LinkedIn, Namanbir Singh, I'm again mentioning the name, Namanbir Singh. This year, he has passed from Ludhiana, he has passed ICSE 10th board exam. Okay, now we know, I'll mention the name also, White Hat Junior. Okay, they started coding because NEP 2020, okay, it says that some coding, some technical skills to be imparted from the college, school level itself. The White Hat Junior at the right time entered in that particular market segment. There are a lot of discussions on White Hat Junior, then Paytm took over it. I'm not getting into all those discussions. That's not our business. But it was costly affair. So this fellow, he thought, why not to start a coding company, which we can teach coding at a very less amount. Okay. So he started a company, codingbuddy.com. And I said, from where do you have learned coding? He said, I have not taken any training for coding. He learned coding from the YouTube. See, that's what I said. Your mindset, your passion, okay? Are you ready to go for it? If you are, then no one can beat you. Then he floated another company, indiasil.com. One boy of around 15 to 16 ages floated two companies, He doesn't have his father. He lost his father. And okay, and he is doing so marvelous. If he can, why not I can, you can, or anybody else can today? I think that is very, very important. We have to make them understand there is no stigma. There is nothing from where you belong. That's what 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 said, a life not by default, a life by designing. We have no say where you have taken birth, but we have every right, okay, to create our future. We need to create our future. Where you have taken birth, which background you are, that has nothing to do with our individual performance, with our efforts. Each one of us can do. Now people say, I'm not making a political comments. If a chaiwala can become a prime minister, not a political comment, please don't take it otherwise. If a chaiwala can become prime minister of India, of the largest democracy in the world, why not anyone can become anything else? Okay, so no stigma. Please, we need to tell to the students, there is nothing can pull you back from where you belong to, the socio-cultural context. You create your future. You have to design your life, and everything is in your hand. You are blessed that you have taken a human life, that you are able to study your higher educations. There are millions who are struggling for their life for 1 meal in a day. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your power pack session, and we look forward to interacting with you in upcoming sessions in days to come. Thank you so much, sir. And
thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Without taking a break, now I would like to welcome our next speaker, that is Professor Sudhir Sharan. He holds, let me briefly introduce our speaker for today. Professor Sudhir Sharan holds PGDM from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and a doctoral degree in management. He runs a consultancy firm in the name of Dr. Sharan Consulting at California, USA. He was the former visiting professor at IIM Lucknow and University of Texas, Dallas, USA. He is a teacher of advanced finance, and the most important thing, and a wonderful human being and a world-class leader teacher. This is how I would like to introduce sir to our august audience today. And he is a teacher who's filled with humility, and he makes sure students love his subjects, and he uses all innovative means. I've personally interacted with sir on multiple occasions, and one thing that inspired me the most about sir is he uses props in all his sessions to make the session very, very interactive. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Ganeshwar. It is always a joy of the purest kind to be with you. The reason is we have the same values. We have the same desires. In our professional, there is no bond which is stronger than this. In my experience, at least, there is none. I am so proud to be here with you. The topic is very significant, and I'll directly respect your statement about me, and that is I use some certain ways to make the point clear and to make sure the people who are in our audience, I'm very sorry. I've been traveling to a place which has extreme weather, and I didn't take enough precautions. My throat is a little bad. Some irritation, some cough will be there, but I expect to be forgiven for that one.
That's perfectly okay.
Thank you so much. I'll keep on taking my cough syrup in between, but I cover it so that the brand is not advertised on your all the channel without them paying. I'll take a sip and continue. All of our viewers will know what this is. This is a glass. Glass is a vessel, and the second glass is the material. This is a glass. Not all glasses as a vessel are made of glass. Some are made of metals. For example, our theme today is what industry expectation is from fresh technical graduates. To understand the three entities, the industry, the expectations, and the fresh technical graduates, this is one of the elements. The second element is this one. Everybody knows what this one is and what it is used for. On one end, it has simulated my digits. I don't have. You can keep your video on, Professor Gyaneshwar. It is giving me lots of, encouragement.
My video is on, sir. My video is on.
Then, later on we can, switch it off. And because what is happening when you switched our video, there was a image and black area. Okay, fine. Now, this one is simulation of my fingers. And this, when I put inside this one, where is the finger side? Where I see it, Mr. Gyaneshwar, Professor Gyaneshwar? I see the times where it is. Now let me make it interesting. I'm pouring water in this. I'm pouring water in this. Pouring water in this. Now it has become very interesting. What industry expectation is from the fresh technical graduates? Say, this is the expectation that it will perform its function on the dining table. Dining table being the business in which they are hired and recruited. I put in this one. Where is this part? Exactly where I see it. Where is the tile side? It is not where I see it. You will remember from physics the concept of refraction. So where I see it is an appearance of the object being there. The real place this object is not there. So for this reason, industry expectation from technical fresh graduates is very fascinating subject. It is where it is in some parts, some expectations. The other parts are not where they are. An illusion, their respective image. They are somewhere else. With this brief introduction, I hope you are able to see we are not talking about something run of the mill, not according to me. We are talking about something vitally important in the life of a fresh technical graduate. Since time is at a premium, I have limited time and lots of ground to cover. I compressed a lot of things in my opening activity of the fork and the glass and pouring water to show the distinction between what I think industry expects, the appearance part, and what industry expects, the real part, and the gap which is there. The first and foremost thing that industry expects is you will be able to manage yourself. That is the entry-level job. Fresh graduates will get entry-level jobs. What is the other kind? Let me take a minute and show that. If I have worked for 3 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, I will not be called fresh technical graduate. I'll be called technical graduate with experience. What the experienced people get is lateral placements. IIM Ahmedabad mentioned by one of the speakers and by Professor Gyaneshwar in some other context of employability index, a skill index, changing with every semester. IIM Ahmedabad also gives me 3 chances in my lifetime to seek placement on the campus. The first one is as a fresh MBA, and 2 other anytime I can seek it in my whole working life. The second and third chances which I will avail will be not for entry-level jobs, but for lateral placement. Whatever be my experience and where industry expects I will fit in, they will create a slot for me and I'll go through the process, lateral placement. What today we are talking about is fresh entry-level jobs. So, employability skills and the industry expectation, when I combine into one for an entry-level job, the first point I want to hammer here is don't forget that this fork is coming into entry-level expectations, which let us say is the steel fork. Then this material changes. Let's say it will become a silver fork. So that will be middle level jobs, lateral jobs. And suppose this fork is made of gold. That will become the top level lateral placements. And expectations are different from the steel fork by the industry. The expectations are different from the silver fork from the industry by the industry. And the expectations are different from the gold fork from the industry and by the industry. This is the second point which I want to make today, to do honor to the theme which Professor Gyaneshwar, in his wisdom, assigned. What are the industry expectations from fresh technical graduates? 2 points I have made. Please keep track. And as Professor Gyaneshwar said, I confess I'm the oldest school professor. And we believe one should be making notes and taking notes. I am hoping that you are sitting with some paper equivalent. I'm hesitating in saying paper because today is the digital era. And a mobile is your book. A mobile is your notebook. A mobile is your library. Everything is there. So hesitate, but some equivalent of old school paper and pen or pencil, I hope you have. And you are jotting down some of the things, because I took it very seriously when the invitation came. I took it very seriously, and I want to impress upon you, there is value in taking it seriously. It's only 1 hour that I'm consuming from you, but I hope to deliver something which will be permanent for you. 2 things already I have done. I hope it makes the picture very clear. A connected third point is, when I hear the sentence, industry expectations from fresh technical graduates, in terms of economics, I start asking myself, is it a demand side story or is it a supply side story? You know the famous law of demand. You know equally famous supply. And when I plot the downward sloping demand curve, and upward sloping supply curve or production curve, then they meet at one point. That point is called equilibrium. That is the point where price is settled. So the topic given to me emphasizes the upward sloping supply side estimate. The upward sloping supply story says, I, the technical fresh graduate, want to have the maximum price for what I have to offer. But the supply side story, like the fork in the water, is not where industry sees it. And I have to turn it 180 degrees. This is the fourth important point that I'm making. The topic, what does industry expect from fresh technical graduates? In reality is of interest to the fresh technical graduate, and therefore in terms of economics, it becomes the supply side story in the equilibrium determination. But the way it has been coined, the emphasis is on what the industry will read it. So therefore, the medium here was air, the medium here was glass, the medium here was water. Three different media were there. Two of them are easy to identify. One is the fresh technical graduates orientation. That's one medium. The other one is industry's expectation orientation. That's the second medium. And the third one is the market as a whole. You remember, particularly in perfect competition, which is one type of market, I am very sure all of you, even though you are technical graduates, you all did study sufficient amount of humanities courses in first year, second year, and maybe in subsequent years as well. To understand what I'm talking about, I'm keeping my conversation very basic so that you stay connected with me intellectually, mentally, and you are able to grasp. You don't have any homework so that you do the homework, then only you understand. I'm keeping it a homeworkless kind of a conversation. So the third one is market level. All the fresh technical graduates who will come out in a particular point in time, say in the year 2023, they will be demand side of the whole market. All the companies which will hire them, the ones which are expecting industry, the word is industry. It does not say what Wipro expects. It does not say what Google expects. It does not say what L&T expects. It says what industry expectation is. So the market level, that is the third medium. Let me raise three fingers and say third medium. Third medium is the market side. Second medium is the industry side, whole of the recruiter community. And the first one is all the fresh technical graduate committee. These are the three. And now this was the fifth important point which I wanted to make. With all these five taken together, Professor Gyaneshwar, allow me to claim I have structured the topic for the day. It took me a couple of minutes, but we have structured what actually our theme comprises of and why it is important. Now, as I said, time is at premium. And the second thing which I want to bring before you is this. We were talking about employability skills, and the reason is this is our theme for the two-day interaction. Employability skills and what they do to the career growth. When I look at these two things, subconsciously, I notice a relationship between career growth and employability skill. But it is intrinsic relationship, almost like some things which are happening in my life at subconscious level. Not much conscious involvement of mind and brain, it's there. It is almost like things which are on autopilot. Not much pilot's manual intervention is needed. Generally, taking the metaphor of an aeroplane flying, when the plane taxis and comes on the runway, then at runway it goes full throttle. Then it takes off, leaves the ground. Then it attains more and more altitude as instructed by the tower which is controlling the flight. Then maintains it. You have noticed no smoking and keeping seatbelt on sign are on in the inside the plane. Then once the plane stabilizes on the altitude given by the flight tower, the switch is out. That is the point when the pilots put it on autopilot and are free to move around unless some emergency like, heavy turbulence takes place. Same thing happens in industry's expectation from the fresh technical graduates. They are supposed to be involved conscious level in managing their employability skills and thereby control the cause which determines the kind of career growth they will have. The kind of career is an effect variable, and employability skills are a causative, causal, or determining, or independent variable. All these names apply to employability skills in the context of career growth, which is the result variable or dependent variable, technically speaking. This at manual one is expected by the industry, but it is autopilot matter for the fresh graduate. Now, this is where the two have to be brought together. This is, if we are keeping track, is the sixth important point we are making. From now on, it is your responsibility to keep the count. Up to sixth, I have brought you. From seventh, you and do it. From after the sixth one, you do it by yourself. Be independent. The gap, what industry expects in reality, and what the technical fresh graduate thinks industry expects in reality, what the market in general thinks is the expectation side of the story, we have two versions. Version one will be what I will call illusion or apparent image. I'm not talking negatively. I'm not praising one and deprecating or criticizing another. I'm being objective. No value is attached to these terms. I'm picking these terms because they're exact ones to describe the fact which is there in the world out there. That's my criteria for selecting the opening activity and the terms which are you using to explain that. So the apparent image is the first version, as the adjective apparent says, that's not where the object is. So all the three versions have their three additional versions as well. So if you are keeping track, this is the sixth point that I have made. And this says, whenever any expert, any mentor is doing either group mentoring or one-on-one mentoring, must remember the opening activity which I have. Must remember the opening activity which I had and adapt to their selection of the list of skills, selection of methods to deliver those skills, keeping this ecosystem of three real images and three apparent images having a dynamic interplay with respect to time. What is good for 23 will need to be adapted for 25, 26. Because, industry will evolve, curriculum will evolve, and individuals who go to technical colleges for technical education, they will evolve. This is the point number 7, evolving of the images because of the nature of things being such. Okay, I asked you to keep track, keep the count, but I helped you. I'm doing some amount of a spoon feeding because in India, it is a different relationship than it is in USA. In USA, they will mind very much if I do any amount of a spoon feeding. But in India, it is a token of love and affection which the teacher has if he or she does some amount of spoon feeding. So I'm in India. Let me be an Indian. Be in Rome as Romans are expected. With this light comment, let me move to the next important point. If the relationship between employability skill and career growth is intrinsic, then it is equivalent to autopilot. But in the example which I gave, at a fresher level, it is on full pilot mode. It's not on autopilot mode. So what is needed? What is needed? My God. Mr. Sai, you are a he-man. But please keep yourself mute, sir. Please keep yourself.
I've muted him. I'm taking care of it.
Thank you, Professor Ganesh. Because I was, literally worried what is the bodybuilder trying to show off here. That's not one of the expectations from the industry side, from the technical fresh graduates. That is from different people's expectations.
So that is also one of the expectations. So that is also one of the expectation. I think
marriage
of late,
market.
yes, of late employers are being talking about the physical quotient, being fit, because there are enough sick people in the organizations. They want people will bring a lot of energy in terms of physical quotient. So that is also important. Yes, I'm sorry.
Well said. Very well said. So now coming to this side, it is very much conscious to recognize the relationship between employability skill and career growth. You see, what industry is expecting it is that you earn your growth. If promotion is a tangible indicator of career growth, so is increment in your package. That's a tangible. A third one is they increase your span of control. Your designation is same. Your pay package is same. But they increase the span of control. Any of these three happening What industry expects is you have earned it. And you have good sense to wait. You may reach the milestone in your evaluation for a salary increment in the month of April. But the company is, remember, for right or wrong, has constraints. The HR people who are managing that on behalf of the management, they won't give you on the day you thought you have now reached the requirements for salary increment. Now, why I'm mentioning is when Professor Gyaneshwar brings me here, he's not expecting I'll be saying run-of-the-mill things. He's not expecting I'll say things which are sitting there in the textbook on HR or career management. He's not expecting me to say something which is already there in the journals in the library. He's expecting something which I'll have picked up from the life library and share with you. So what I'm sharing here is the industry will actually deliberately delay sometimes and watch your behavior. Converse also happen. They may give you the career growth indicator earlier than due to you in expectation that you'll continue your growth and effort to earn it. This is where my next point, it is point number 8, which becomes vital. The emotional quotient to nurture the career and nourish the career. Two are not same. Emotional quotient to nurture the career is not the same as emotional quotient to nourish the career. So I am now moving to the point number 8, serving as a stepping stone for the next point. So the question arises here. If they nurture skills which are part of emotional quotient are distinct, what are they? Can I give you some tangible example which will make you understand it better? I will try. All of you have heard in your humanities course that human behavior is important. You may not know the theory, but you know from experience, you know some things about yourself, but you don't know everything about yourself. What you don't know about yourself, if somebody points out, since you don't know, you will actually protest. Suppose I have the habit of saying right at the end of every sentence. In vernacular, we call it takiya kalam. If I end the sentence on the word right, I will be ignorant about this one. I will not know it until somebody points. And first time when they say, I will say, but it was needed now. I will try to be on the defensive. After some time, I'll realize that it is having detrimental effect on the audience. Excuse me. It is having a detrimental. I'll just take a sip of my cold drink. Cup. Syrup. It is having detrimental effect in my communication, efficacy, effectiveness. So I'll accept it and try to correct it. All this which is happening, which I described in plain English, there is a theory in management. Technical graduates may not get it. I don't know what your curriculum is, but your life will teach you this. So life library, life school has taught you this. I'm talking on that. Then there may be another person in the organization, let's say your boss or your colleague. You know some things about that boss or colleague, but you don't know many things. When I take this, I know I don't know about myself, and I know you and I don't know you as another variable. As technical person, you know, I'm describing a 2x2 matrix with 4 cells. This is what the HR person with you as a duality is going to do consciously or unconsciously. This is very important point, that what are we here? Employability skills, I will pay attention to only if I have rewards waiting for me. Many a time, many soft skill trainers come to me very frustrated. They come very frustrated and tell me, oh, today I had a terrible time. The people sitting there were not interested. It was such an important lesson I wanted to deliver. The reason is every rational person does not want to even move a finger, Professor Gyaneshwar, and respected members of my audience today. Every rational person is not interested even in moving a finger, much less moving a mountain, unless rewards are proportional. Mark my words. Just rewards are not enough for me to move my finger or move the mountain. The reward for one task, moving the finger, must be proportionate to the effort. Reward for moving the mountain must be proportionate. And this, Professor Gyaneshwar, is the point number 9. Industry expects that the incentives which we give, the rewards which we have built, compensation plan which we have, will motivate you to acquire the skills which keep you employable. You will enter as a fresh technical graduate, but at the end of 365 days, you will no longer be fresh, so to say. You will be in a more respected category in a own way, and that is experienced technical graduate. So for these 365 days, you have a window of opportunity to scale up. And just like every startup must scale up dramatically to attract the angel investors and subsequently venture capitalists. Similarly, the industry expects that these 365 days, when you continue to call yourself fresh, will be the days when you will make all that extra effort to connect employability, skills, rewards, and other systems, and then the career growth thing proactively. Proactively. This is what they're expecting. But then this is not natural to countries like India. In India, we have different culture on the whole, whether we are from one state or the other. The shared value is for this country, we have parents nurturing us even beyond our teenage years. And we like it. We don't look down upon. Western country is very different. By the time you reach your teens, you are expected not to be protected and spoon-fed. And if somebody does it, it is looked down upon. So here the 9th point is employability skill and career growth connector. The window is 365 days, and you are supposed to transition from a fresher mindset to the experienced person mindset. So this is another thing. I hope you get campus placement, so you have 100% of the 365 availability. If you are little unfortunate, nothing good or bad about it. I know 2 of my own batchmates from IIM Ahmedabad who had only notional job on the day of convocation, because IIM convention is on the day of convocation, everybody must have one job in the pocket. But the 2 people had notional jobs. One of them was the fastest growing career gentleman. He was placed for some time in Bangalore, most times abroad. So for this experience, I'm saying I'm not having any negative interpretation to those of you who find campus job and those who seek job after the education is completed. You take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to get it. But the reason I'm mentioning is very clear. The 365 days don't begin on a particular calendar day. Your 365 days will become later. If you got the job in March and you join in June, your 365-day point status as a fresher will end after June. If somebody joins the job in November, his or her 365 will count the start from November to next. I want to clear everything so that you understand the theme, you understand the matter. Coming to the next most important point, which is connected to all the 9 which I have made together, is that if I take my palm as a slate, here I can draw an x-axis, horizontal axis. Here I can draw a y-axis. Where y and x meet is the, and if I put employability skills on the x-axis, because they are independent variable, it is proper as per the rules which are followed by all the well-educated people. It is matter of self-respect for a well-educated person to put the independent variable on the x-axis, not randomly. Man kiya, if I wanted, I put here, I put independent variable here. No, that is not. On the y-axis, I put the result or determinant, dependent variable. Now, I want to draw a 45-degree line which divides x and y, a space. Let me call that as the median career growth rate. You are a technical person, you'll understand in one go what I'm saying. Median career growth rate. Anything below this one is a disrespect to the employability skills. And as I said, you have to acquire the employability skills, emotional quotient, those which nurture the career and those who nourish the career. So in the early parts, you need to nurture career growth, employment skills. This is not there in the books. If you have made your notes, if you have heard me understood, it is your property. Otherwise, it is gone for good. You lost it. Permanent loss. So this nurture employability skills will be there. And a large dose of this will be emotional quotient. For the reason I mentioned a couple of points before. Understand this one. And even if they are below the median career growth line rate, don't worry. Don't worry. Persist. Have the determination that my nurture, my life, my variable, my images are designed differently, customized to me, and it will work. Take it on my assertion. Anytime you feel doubt, you may say the mantra. Dr. Sharan said he was a man who learned from life. So it will work for me also. Because if it works for one person's career, it will work for my career also. Resolve and do that. When you are reaching the band between junior management and middle management positions, then you will need to access some of the nourishing factors, nurturing factors and nourishing factors. The nourishing factor will be making yourself visible to those who are the people who make the career growth decisions. If you have 10 seniors, if you have 4 super seniors, all the 14 are the reference group for you. In different amounts, they are determining what your career growth will be. You have to make yourself visible to those 14 people, and that is nourishing a skill. So this is where communication is skill, public speaking is skill, community service, doing extra work, because some colleague was struck by a big misfortune and you genuinely cared. You are the kind of person who is pained by others' pain, not as a show business. Don't do it at all. My strictest instruction is never bring phony relationships if you want career growth in long term. Mark my words. Put them in a stone. Don't do that. So if you are the kind of person who sincerely was pained by the pain of that colleague who was struck by a misfortune, not of his doing, then just doing that one is one part. In the most proper way, you have to highlight it also, so that people know you for who you are, not for who you want to project yourself as. No, that phony thing which I said never works. Similarly, jungle mein mor nacha kisne dekha is a saying in North India. It says, if the peacock performed the most beautiful dance in a forest, what does it matter? Nobody saw it. So this is another part. This is nourishing, and nurturing is learning. Why it is important to finish my work in synchronization with my colleagues' work. Yesterday, I was part of a social function, tilak ceremony. If the fellows who were helping the cook did not peel the vegetables before the man who has to cut it, whole thing will become a mess. Take technical equivalent of software design. If I did not finish the architecture and design work, how will the coders begin? Whether I follow agile or waterfall model, which is archaic, 30-year-old, does not matter. So your nurturing ones are realizing why it is important to synchronize your performance in the team so that teamwork is Thank you. I think all the key points have been mentioned. Just one important point remains to be mentioned in my agenda. Of course, there are many other, but these were the most important, and that is all careers are equal only in theory. A BTech is a BTech equal to any BTech only in theory. In practice, there are slabs. Most common is the status of your alma mater. If your alma mater is IIT Bombay and you are in computer science, you know where you are. If you are in IIT Bombay doing a 5-year integrated physics master's, then you know where you are. The two are not the same level for everything. So what I'm saying is, relatively, there is a lot of difference. Though as a tag, it is common. Thank God for this. Let me repeat once again, Professor Gyaneshwar, this is the most important point I'm making here on the topic you gave. Industry expectation from fresh technical graduates. You are a BTech and MIT, USA BTech or Columbia University BTech, be there. The first thing is all three of you are not equal. You have different points in the space to occupy. But as far as industry expectation is concerned, valuation of that expectation is concerned, thank God, alma mater is only one factor that determines it. There is me as the second factors which determines it. And third is how I manage the ecosystem that determines it. The equivalent of this in management is called locus of control theory. Locus of control theory in the simplest word says, whatever happens in my life, good or bad, it has three contributing factors. Two are on one side, one is on opposite side. Technical words used are intrinsic factor and extrinsic factor. Easy to remember. So whatever happens in my career is determined by intrinsic factor and two extrinsic factors, total three factors. So if I manage these three factors in recognition of the serenity prayer, I am assuming you do not know the serenity prayer. So I'll mention that in a minute. And that is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So what I'm saying is, of the three factors, some of them are serenity class at a given point in time. I deal it likewise. Some factors are in the courage category, which should be tried and changed. And the wisdom thing. So these are the most important things in career growth. Career growth happens because of intrinsic factors, what I directly control, and intrinsic factors where I have little or no control. Serenity and courage. The moment you do this one, no matter what is the value, objectively speaking, ranking of your alma mater, you will be no less as the topper of the top engineering college, technical college. I guarantee you, upon the 40 years of experience I have, it will happen. If you fulfill the condition I laid down in the 1 dozen points which I mentioned, which influence industry expectation from fresh technical graduates. Why I am saying this one is, I started seeking the answers to the question Professor Ganeshwar posed in the topic, because I noticed that my students who came from a place called Birla Institute of Technology, Mesra, Ranchi, after 18 years were hiring IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad and foreign MBAs. And they were commanding huge respect as bosses for those hires. So I said, there must be a reason, Professor Ganeshwar. Not everything happens by chance. And there was too much of a pattern. When 6, 7, 8 students of mine, they started controlling businesses like Cognizant, controlling business like L&T, Technical Services Division. When they started controlling SAP North America operation, and they came from that alma mater, then I said, the locus of control theory is in full blossom here. So now, in respect to time, I'll conclude here. My concluding statement is a quotation which I love whenever I'm talking to young people. And it goes like this: when a flower does not blossom, fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. Let me repeat it. When a flower does not blossom, fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. This may look counterintuitive in today's era when we are talking about individualism, less of social bonding, more of individual initiative. This may look like counterintuitive, but this is to be remembered. Thank you very much, Professor Ganeshwar Pais Marur sir, for giving the opportunity. I hope, despite my physical constraint, I measured up to your expectation. Look forward to more fruitful interactions in future. I will love to hear from those students who benefit from the interaction, the conversation which we had with them. Most of all, I will love to hear a sentence or two through you, what they learned best.
Yes, yes,
They found best. Because without feedback, communication is not complete. And incomplete communication is never fruitful. So this is the reason. Thank you very much once.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of Department of Humanities, MTC Global, Caru News, I would like to thank you, sir, for. I think your pointers were very, very apt. The 9 pointers with which you started, they were all clear, and I think you nailed it when it comes to today's topic on industry expectations from fresh technical graduates. Sir, I have one question for you, sir. One is, what is that note of caution which which you give we teachers? Because industry expectation is a very dynamic term, and expectations are changing. So, what is that point which we need to be mindful of as we train our young technical students? Because by the time they get out, the industry expectations would have changed. What is that word of caution which you would like to give to our teacher friends in this particular forum today?
Extremely important point, Professor Ganeshwar. I will try to do justice to it, full justice to it. I did mention the graph. X-axis is the student side, employability skills, and Y-axis is the rewards which they get from the industry. The 45-degree line is there. When your students are there with you for 4 years, you are constructing the employability index and looking at the data. The biggest mistake can happen. Biggest mistake is happening is that a student has individual learning preference without him or her knowing it. Some things they will learn very fast. Some things they'll be very slow. And we as a teacher in India are very quick to form value judgment. This student is lousy in this one, this is very good in this one. That is where the mistake happens. Don't jump to very early value judgment, because you will find that after the third semester, the index composition will change for the student. If you had not jumped to the value judgments in first or second year, you see what you will find is the boundary condition which we set as elders, the self-belief which we are shaping, knowingly or unknowingly, that itself will have expanded. And theoretical maximum for the student's career growth will be much larger. I hope I'm very clear. If I'm not,
Yes.
I will elaborate.
No,
But
sir.
I think it is clear. So
You're clear.
we have the power to saddle them with very tight limiting self-belief, or give them a bigger expanded space to play with. I will pray none of them commit the error. Then does justice to it. It is important, critical, because if a student is not going to rise beyond middle management level, and if I keep on suspending my value judgment, that fellow will never learn why nourishing skills are so vital for this bloody fellow. The only way he can break the glass ceiling of self-belief is by having more and more nourishing than other people will get it intrinsically, naturally. You get my point?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so vital. A mistake becomes important only when corrected, it brings big reward. We teachers are shapers of their destiny. Let us have the fullest in our own hands that we
Yes,
did it.
we teachers have a bigger responsibility in hand to shape the future. Yes.
We
So,
have.
yes,
We have.
yes, yes. So because of the paucity of time, sir, I may have to end our session today, sir. And on behalf of Humanities Department, I profusely thank you, sir, for taking
Thank
time
you.
and being a resource person for our webinar. And we look forward to interacting with you in our upcoming sessions in the future, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank you. My
yeah, I would
pleasure.
like to profusely thank all our audience for today, and I expect that we join in tomorrow by 10:50, so that we could start our session by 11 and close by 1. The feedback link will be shared with all our participants in the chat window, and within 2 days the certificates would be issued. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, one and all.
Please do share the specific feedback for my session.
Definitely, sir. I will be sharing it with all the speakers. Yes, sir.
And
I'll be
the
doing it.
feedback has to be about what one thing they learned best.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
question I have.
Yes.
Different people will learn different things. I
Yes.
provide the room for that. What
Yes.
they learned best, what one thing.
Yes.
That
Yes.
feedback I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.